of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through eyes.
Welcome, folks. Let's get to it.
Irrelevant news.
Can Def Noodles take a break from ruining his career for maybe like, I don't know, 3 days so that I can please get this video out? Every single time I finish my script or my outline for this video, he does another thing or says something ridiculous on Twitter. And I'm just like, great, now I have to include that. So for the sake of adding to the conversation and finishing this video and actually getting it out, it's not going to be as highly edited as I wanted it to be. And I'm just going to go ahead and put it out because let's be honest, with how this is going, this person is going to be acting like this for the foreseeable future.
Are you from Detroit?
Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Chelsea, you know that and I know that. If you hear any snoring or any weird sounds during this video, that is my bulldog Wiggum. He's sleeping on the love sack. So no, it's not your refrigerator. No, it's not someone who's broken into your house and is snoring in your closet. I would take a second to list out all of the typical disclaimers that I do. You know, this isn't hate, this isn't slander, this isn't harassment, this is just commentary, blah, blah, blah. All my own opinions, don't harass this person. But I'm honestly tired of doing that in videos. And if you can't read the title cards that this isn't bullying, slander, harassment, libel, anything like that, and just my own opinion, that's your own fault. And I'm just over it at this point, okay? Come on. So let's talk about the self-proclaimed bad boy of the interwebs, Def Noodles. His real name is Dennis Feitosa, and I'll be calling him Dennis or Def Noodles. And there is some confusion because he says that his channel name is Def Noodles, and then he is Dennis, or he is Felix, which is another nickname he used to go by previously. And it's like, how do you get Felix from Dennis? That's not really how words work. But then Def Noodles is the channel name or the character, and then the show is Irrelevant News. It's all just, it's too much. It's really just too much. Now, Dennis, on his Def Noodles channel, which he has multiple channels, but on his Def Noodles channel, which is his main one, he has over 549,000 subscribers, which I actually just had to check because at the time when I started this script, he had 552,000, I believe. But that number is quickly decreasing. Just in the last 2 months, he's lost over 40,000 subscribers. That's a lot. Dennis, or Def Noodles, is best known for his drama commentary content on YouTube, very strange cadence, and his lackluster, at best, cringy jokes. Around 3 years ago, he started posting on YouTube and was doing more so reactionary content. And realistically, that is what he still does, but it was mainly regarding Filipino media content, like Filipino game shows and other Filipino TV shows. And it looks like he did make the transition to drama commentary videos at the beginning of 2020. Now, when it comes to YouTube, if you were going to pivot to any other type of genre or any other type of content or make a big change with your channel, with your niche, that was definitely the time to do it. Now, there are already a lot of channels that have discussed his ex-girlfriend or ex-wife. I don't know which one is which. I don't really care about all of that because I don't think it's super relevant. For instance, his, I guess, ex-girlfriend or ex-wife, again, I don't know which she is, has a YouTube channel called I Want My Lauren, and she used to be big. She has been on YouTube for 11 years, since the beginning. So she's like an OG creator. She has over 318,000 subscribers. And just going through her library of videos that are still public on YouTube, you can see, you know, the waves that she went through of getting a lot of views and then not getting a lot of views and getting a lot of views. And listen, that's very impressive that you stuck through it and you done did it. That's wonderful. Now, I guess she took a break and then came back to YouTube more recently. And I don't know why, I think it's just so funny. If you look on her page, you can see it just, I don't know why it creeps me out, but as a commentary channel myself, I don't know, it just like kind of creeps me out that every thumbnail photo is like the same photo of her inserted. And it's just, I don't know, I just find it really funny. It's just weird. Like, girl, you can't take like a screenshot of yourself like during the video, like doing a reaction, or you can't just take another picture. It's got to be the same picture for over 6 months. Like, what are you doing? Either way, it's pretty crazy that she's been on YouTube for over 11 years, has that many subscribers. And the video with the highest view count on her channel in the last 5 months only has 19,000 views, which, hey, 19,000 views, that's nothing to scoff at. But when you have over 300,000 subscribers, it's wild. And it like scares me because I never want that to happen to me. It's bound to happen to everyone. But like, again, I think that's what happens when you don't grow your channel, when you aren't actively trying to grow your channel and change with the times, and clearly this isn't working for her, but she's sticking with it, which is interesting because it seems like Dennis is doing the same thing, or rather, I don't want to say he copies her, but she's got those little, you know, those same little horned ear, unicorn, whatever headset, and then he has like a cat one, and they both use all the same picture for every reaction video. There's just many similarities here. Either way, let's get back on topic. So moving on from that ex-girlfriend, let's talk about Dennis as a drama channel. Again, he's probably not gonna like that people call him a drama channel, but that's what he is. He's a drama channel. That's literally what he was. Now, he was extremely consistent and would put out information on his Instagram, his Twitter, and his YouTube channel so consistently. Like, he was probably one of the most, if not the most consistent drama YouTuber. Now, something that can happen when you are the first to put something out is that you can typically get things wrong quite a bit. And now, yes, do I think that he got things wrong sometimes, and that rush to try to put things out first can sometimes hurt you? Of course. But as a YouTuber myself, I can tell you that in this commentary community, there was a point where he was, you know, I don't want to say very well respected, but someone who was an up and comer that people were paying attention to and people were looking at. Now, the Def Noodles channel as a drama channel blew up pretty quickly over the past 2 years. And I don't want to say it was only because he was the first to put out information, but also because he was so consistent. I've had so many people tell me that they used to watch him very consistently because he would put out a video every morning, pretty early in the morning, and they would have that be a part of their morning routine, which again, as a content creator myself, that's really smart of him to put out videos that early in the morning. That's real smart. So before we go into my thoughts about things that have happened recently and really his downfall in general and what I think has led to that and my theories and opinions on it, I do just want to go over a quick little timeline of what has happened in the last like year and a half. So like I said, around two and a half years ago, Def Noodles started posting drama related YouTube videos. On August 2nd, 2021, after 2 years of making those videos, he took off the cat ear headphones and ended that era on his channel in a bit that lasted about 7 minutes too long. Oh my Lord, it is excruciating to watch this. Really, for me, this is 7 million, but exhibit 1 of this man being awful at comedy. But we will get to that later. Now, in this video on August 2nd, he explains that it was like a character and it was a joke, and like this cadence that he was putting on was like really hurting his voice. And it was, again, a character that he was just super sarcastic and whatever. Also, yes, my half my nails are gone. I get it. Leave me alone, okay? Getting them done on Friday. All right? They were giving me anxiety, so I had to take them off. So he had made the point in the video, which I don't necessarily disagree with, but he had made this point that playing this character and doing these types of very satirical and loud and obnoxious types of videos in regards to his show Irrelevant News was really limiting himself, and he wants to introduce new characters and do all this and that, and it's like, buddy, if that was one of your characters, I don't want to see the rest. We don't really need to see the rest. I feel like what he's going to do is come out now and be like, oh, guess what? That was a character too. That was bad boy nudes. Like, no. Oh my God. And he's been posting semi nude pictures. So that would be absolutely insane. So he was saying that he wanted to usher in a new era. I'm paraphrasing here, making it sound way more interesting than it actually did in the video. It was an awful video of him just saying oh, I was gonna, get vocal nodules or whatever. And I was pigeonholing myself and I couldn't, be creative, and I was limiting myself, blah, blah. I'm gonna have so much different content and so much different whatever. A year passed, and the only thing that had changed was his green screen. He was just using a different image behind him. He wasn't wearing the headphones, and he let his beard grow out a little bit, but he still made the same content with the same shitty joke. So was that really a character?
Welcome to YouTube's Deflategate. Mr. Beast just hosted one of the biggest trivia games in YouTube history with some of the biggest creators on the internet, featuring none other than Charlie and Dixie D'Amelio. Yes, the D'Amelio sisters, 2 of the biggest TikTokers in the world who rose to fame by stealing dance moves from a 14-year-old girl. Oh, that is so thoughtful and respectful of Big Ed and Liz to not expose a person who was helping Big Ed out with this thing. Just when you think that they're bad people, they end up surprising you.
So that was August 2021. And now let's hop into the future to July 2022. I don't know what happened, but he started doing his Irrelevant News show in his commercial retail space, whatever you want to call it, in his office, without the green screen, with pretty poor lighting. The audio wasn't as good, and it looks like he's being held captive in a storage closet. Like I said, this was in his retail space. He had mentioned in one of his first few videos doing it this way that he was going to be building a studio where he can make a a show or turn his irrelevant news show into something like the Colbert Report or The Soup or Tosh.0 or like Last Week Tonight. I love Last Week Tonight. It is one of my favorite. And to this day, he still has not done that. He is in the like back office of that area and sitting at a desk and just doing his videos like that now. Now, later in July 2022, the whole scandal or drama with another YouTube commentary content creator who does more of social commentary by the name of Papa Gut, the whole drama with them happened. Now, to put it super simply, one of the many family channels on YouTube had posted something about like another YouTuber being inappropriate or something like that. They put out a statement, and Def Noodles and then also Papa Gut responded to it and made a video about it. And because of something that Papa Gut said, he was correcting a like misquote or something like that, or correcting like a joke that someone had made, saying like, oh, like the phrase is actually this. And then Dennis just decided to accuse that person of being a pedophile. I'm saying it that way so I don't get demonetized, but yeah. Right? What? Sir, excuse me? They went back and forth a bunch, making response videos here and there.
You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
I really, oh man.
Platform you. I'm fucking
you like, I literally explained why that was wrong, and your perspective is that joke was appropriate. You made the point that you thought that joke was okay, even though I disavowed the joke and tried to explain context, and now you're sitting here trying to deplatform me on it.
Tell me where the fucking tears are, motherfucker. You are fucking bullshit. You make these blanket fucking statements. People don't understand my comedy, and yet look at my
funny
following. Look at my fucking following. If people don't understand,
because they follow you because they like how hateful you are.
Let me ask you.
And ultimately, Dennis made a video apologizing and saying, you know, I should have articulated my feelings better. You know, I probably shouldn't have gone live, and I was just expecting for him to like come at me, and so I was already on guard.
In this really aggressive, hostile environment because of everything that happened leading up to it, and I just wasn't as open as I should have been in that conversation, and as I typically am in most conversations. As you've seen, I genuinely thought it was going to be something that was aggressive and confrontational, and while there were aspects of confrontation, I do think that I happened to be instigating a lot of it and happened to be on the side of just not helping the conversation really be as conducive as it could have been, as conducive to, I don't know. I don't think I really helped anything, really.
Buddy, you just shouldn't go live. You also probably shouldn't have a Twitter. Like, it's so important as a commentary content creator, as a content creator in general, as a public figure in general, to know like what you can and can't do. For instance, when I drink, bitch, my phone goes on airplane mode, okay? No. Absolutely not. My phone goes on airplane mode. Goodbye. I don't need to see it. It's called protecting yourself. It's called protecting your image. It's called being professional. And don't come at me and be like, oh my gosh, well, what are you scared of saying? Are you going to go through your work emails when you're drunk? Are you going to respond to work emails when you're drunk? You better not. Put that phone on airplane mode, girl. So Dennis later came out with an apology. Like I said, it was pretty articulate. It sounded pretty good. And I even watched that and I was like, wow, okay. And then the very next day, or within like a few days, he turned right around on Twitter and just started bashing the guy again and just reigniting everything that he had just extinguished with this apology video that he did. And it's like, what are you doing? Why are you flip-flopping like this? Now, personally, I think that the Papa Gut situation was the tipping point, or the catalyst rather, of his own followers turning on him. And now something that didn't help the situation was about a week or a week and a half later, on August 9th, it came out that he had been lying about his age. And don't get me wrong, I don't think that's as big of a deal as people have made it out to be. It's weird, but like, it's not like super unethical, I don't think. The one thing that makes it weirder is the fact that he had been kind of dissing other commentary creators or other drama channels regarding their age, saying like, oh, you're almost 40 or you're 40 or whatever, or like, you're this age, and yet you're talking about these creators who were like this young. Sir, you're almost 40. Also, that like, your age is irrelevant. You can have an opinion on anything and still make drama videos. You can be any age and make drama videos. Look at Peter Mon. He is 50 and he can still kick. Now, I personally think that his channel has been declining since about 6 months ago, but even before then. But I think there has been a noticeable difference since about 6 months ago, because if you look at his channel, around 5 to 6 months ago, he was getting an average of about 120,000 views per video. But then you look now, and this man has a hard time breaking 30,000 views per video. I mean, even from the looks of it, if we're looking at his Social Blade, which of course Social Blade is not super accurate in terms of CPM or how many subscribers someone lost or gained, which that number is rounded up or rounded down rather. And then in regards to the financial aspect, it's usually not accurate at all. I know for me it's not accurate because they don't have access to that information, but they do have access to pull the numbers when it comes to views because that is specific and public. If we're just looking at how many video views he's received in the last month, so since the 1st of this month of September 2022, it looks like he has only received about 500,000 channel views on YouTube, and he has over 500,000 subscribers. I have 91,000 subscribers, and I've received more views than that on YouTube this month. And my engagement rate is it's pretty normal, like pretty average. So that just shows how low his engagement rate truly is and how this is dropping drastically. Now, over the past month and a half, I believe, Dennis has been hosting roast battle comedy shows, award-winning, record-breaking, history-making comedy shows in the front room of his office. We'll get into those in a second, but I want to discuss him wanting to be a comedian. Dennis has said that he's always wanted to be a comedian, that he's grown up going to roast battles and comedy shows and all this in New York and in LA, and he's, a big part of the comedy scene in LA. But Dennis is missing one very important requirement to being a comedian: being funny. I can confidently say I have never laughed, given a little hee-hee, a little chuckle, even one of the little none of those have ever been uttered. None of those have been expelled from my body while watching any of his content, any of his roast battles, any of his comedy shows, any of his bits, any of his set. I've even seen some of his stand-up, not personally, but like on video, but like on the internet. If we were playing Never Have I Ever, and the question was, have you ever found Dennis Vetosa funny? I would not be drinking. I would be stone cold sober.
You're like my cousin if you were a girl. Are you from Detroit? Carrot Top called, he wants his look back. Wait, Cat got your tongue?
No, you
Pussy got your tongue?
Nah, you look like you woke up in a dumpster.
Probably.
Now, we've talked about what I call the YouTube pivot many times here on my channel. The YouTube pivot meaning when you pivot your content to something else. Now, some people who have done it very successfully, I would say Bailey Sarian went from makeup content to true crime, being basically the queen of true crime on YouTube. Like her or don't, doesn't matter. That's a fact. That woman is so successful, and she did that YouTube pivot very successfully. Another one that comes to mind is how Laura Lee, who is a beauty influencer, switched over at the beginning of COVID, switched over from just doing, beauty content over to lifestyle, vlogs, fashion, and those types of videos. Another one as well is Peter Mon. He started basically just doing like booktube videos and book reviews and, videos like that to a drama channel. And that channel is now his most successful one. Another lesser known YouTuber who has done a successful pivot and had pretty great success with what they do now is CCSUAREZ. She went from doing beauty and lifestyle content, mainly beauty content, and got like 400 views per video on average. And then now she's doing this full time, is almost at 100,000 subscribers, and she's doing quite well. That's me. And then there are people who just absolutely do not pivot well, or people who should have, and they like miss the opportunity to do so, and then their channel just crashes and burns. Or maybe they kind of really shouldn't have, and because they tried to, their channel crashed and burned. Def Noodles will go down in history as one of the not so graceful YouTube pivots. And don't get me wrong, you don't have to keep doing the same content just because it's getting views, like even if you're not super happy with it, especially if you don't like it anymore. That's not fun. I don't want you to do that. I mean, do what you love. But since this is your job, which yes, this is his main source of income, or rather his higher source of income, because if you look at his IMDb page, he says he's an actor and an executive producer and a director, and it's like, where? Baby, the only positive review for the movie that you were the executive producer for, the only positive review for that is from one of the actresses in the movie who played like a small role from what I could see, but was also listed. She was also listed as an executive producer, and she left the review. It's not adding up. But like I was saying, if you are a, pretty successful YouTuber, it is a good idea to have a more graceful pivot and have your audience be a part of that. Now, he claims the whole Minecraft cat, which that's what he calls the, when he was wearing like the little cat ears, and there was like a Minecraft like green screen image behind behind him. He says that that Minecraft Cat drama channel era of his YouTube channel was him just playing a character. But I don't think that was necessarily the case. I think that was more so his like on-screen persona. There's a difference between a character and an on-screen persona. For instance, a lot of YouTubers have their, on-screen persona that is a little bit more engaging, a little bit more outgoing, but it's still them. Instead of like a full character, like you're playing a role. No, honey, that's not what this is. And I think that that Minecraft Cat era was just him, but a little bit more dramatic, a little bit more animated, a little bit louder, but still him. Because the only difference between that content and the content that we received after that was just the lack of the Minecraft and the cat. He was a little bit more subdued, but the jokes were still shitty and the cadence was basically the same. So is it a character? If so, it's not a very good character. Sir, are you just as good at acting as you are being a comedian? Hang up the hat, buddy. Close the door. Go take a nap. You're done. Now let's talk about one of my favorite topics when it comes to Dennis: hypocrisy. As a commentary content creator myself, especially one that calls out other people's BS, I know that it would be super hypocritical of me to not be open to constructive feedback. And now there is a difference between constructive feedback and people just being dicks and harassing you and just trolling you. There's a complete difference, and typically you can tell. There's also a difference between your fans who got you where you are today, not liking the content that you're putting out in the direction of your channel, and then haters trying to cancel you. There is a difference, and I think Dennis really needs to learn what that difference is, because it seems like he loves responding to the haters and addressing allegations and using all that as clickbait. And listen, I've done that too, and it's hilarious. Trolling the trolls, love it, got it. But I know the difference between constructive feedback, and I've applied it many times. Constructive feedback and then just people being dicks. Like, yeah, ignore those people, but when your actual viewers and audience members and people who, like I said, got you to where you are, have constructive feedback for you, you should probably listen to that. You don't have to apply it, you don't have to agree with it, but at least listening to it is important, and not just labeling everyone as haters or trolls.
If you're ever curious about who these winos are, just click on the profile of some of these people claiming to be fans in the comments and expressing concern. You can see their comment history, and from that you will quickly find out that some of the people with the most opinions and criticisms about my content, who present themselves as fans or former fans, have never in fact actually enjoyed my content and are just jumping on the hate bandwagon to gain attention or whatever else motivates these trolls.
But just like any of his attempts at comedy, Dennis completely misses the point when he's given any type of feedback. Def Noodles, Dennis, Felix, whatever he wants to be called, Big D, the bad boy of the internet, the bad boy of YouTube, ew, ugh. He has to be one of the most flip-floppy motherfuckers I've ever witnessed, which is crazy because that's only considering the last 4 months that I've even been looking into him. He'll apologize and then say he's not sorry and then troll that topic or that other creator that he was supposed to be apologizing to. He'll clickbait. He'll then call people out for clickbait or call out the media misrepresenting him, but yet he does the exact same thing on his YouTube channel and uses clickbait to try to garner views. And at this point, you really can't trust anything that he says, and he's just a joke in general when it comes to YouTube commentary. He said that he was done doing irrelevant news, continued to say he was done doing it. On stream one day, one of his viewers even asked him, are you going to continue with irrelevant news? When is it coming back? And I don't want to say he went off because he didn't, but you kind of tell he was annoyed, which I understand. If you're asked something over and over and over and over again, I can understand why that would be annoying. I've been asked things over and over and over again, and yeah, I do kind of get annoyed when I have to answer the same thing 7 million times. I get it. But his response was, it's never coming back. If that's what you're here for, you should just leave, which is kind of rude, because then a week or two later, he brought it back. And he said that it was due to contractual agreements or, brand deals or whatever he has. And he said it was going to be over on Snapchat, I think is what he said. So it's like, babe, did you get a Snapchat show? Who gave you a Snapchat show? Who was your management? They got to stop it. Speaking of clickbait though, there's a difference between clickbait and then just straight up lying. For instance, he has put in a title of a video that he was doxxed. He was not doxxed. The address that he's saying that he was doxxed or that was released, whatever, the private information, is the address to the comedy club, to his office space that he released. It's on the website where you buy tickets to his show. Like, you released that information. It's not doxing. If so, then you doxed yourself, you dum-dum. And then saying that he got swatted. You didn't get swatted. You even posted picture or videos or whatever whatever of the Los Angeles police officers. Those are patrol officers. That's it. That's not SWAT. It's not swatting. Now, yeah, if someone like calls the cops on you, I guess you could still consider that swatting, but not even, because that's not even swatting. That like come on. It's not the same. Just getting the cops called on you and then swatting, it's not the same. It's like swatting is to like a different degree. It's much more serious. And then he also claims that he was wrongfully terminated or wrongfully banned from Twitch and YouTube, or that he got like a violation or something on YouTube. And he said that it was, all wrongful. And then it was like part of like a hate campaign or people trying to cancel him. Sir, you showed titties. You showed boobies on live stream, not once, but twice in the same video. Like, boobies. You know that that's not allowed. You know that's against the terms of service. You know that's a violation. What are you doing? Like, your co-host was even screaming TOS, TOS, terms of service, terms of service. What are you doing? Also, when you do have like a live show or you are live streaming, whatever, typically anyone who you are going to have on that platform, you would tell them, hey, we don't say this, we don't say that, blah, blah, like we don't do this or we don't do that. Even when I'm live streaming and my husband is home, I always make sure to tell him so he doesn't come in my office and ask me something inappropriate. Not like something hateful, but like, hey, you want to go do this? I'm not trying to have y'all hear that. And also, I'm not trying to stop the live stream so I can go do that, because sometimes you got to. That wasn't a wrongful ban, sir. Thems were boobies. Now let's talk about his comedy club. Now, Dennis rented a space that used to be I can't remember the name of it, but you'll see it on the screen right now. And it used to be a like guitar shop or something like that. And you can actually see in the brochure for this rental space how small it is. And you can actually see pretty clearly where he's walled it off. Either way though, it's a very small space. People are real crammed in there. And the overall consensus from the interwebs seems to be that not a laugh was had. It wasn't funny. It was poorly organized. That Dennis himself was insufferable. And yes, I watched all 3 of them. I did. I watched all 3. If you can tell that my eyes are glassy, it's not because I've been mourning the fact that I had to watch all 3 of these roast battles. It's because I keep yawning and I don't know why. So during the first 2, I will confidently say that none of it was funny. It was absolutely ridiculous. The first one was just a complete mess. It took like 40 minutes for them to even start. The second one, there was literally an assault that happened. One of his haters, Salvo, showed up and I guess like got on stage. Listen. It's all a blur. I've tried to block it out of my memory. And then also during that one, there was extra footage from outside and inside of the comedy club where it literally shows one of the people that was in the roast battle, one of the comedians, amateur comedians, also assaulted someone. I feel like we need to get a bingo card at this point. It's either, okay, they can't find the mics, that's one square. Someone is assaulted, that's another square. Dennis mentions haters, that's another square. No one left, another square. And then also he claims that a famous person will be there to try to garner ticket sales. Another square. Like it's just absolutely ridiculous at this point. But yet after each one, he says that they made history. History was made. Records were broken. It was a success. Success is subjective. I understand that. For instance, I think that I'm a successful YouTuber. Now, sure, I only have 91,000 subscribers so far, but this is my full-time job, therefore, and I love it. And I put out a consistent amount of content and I'm really happy with it. Therefore, in my mind, I'm successful. However, having a successful comedy show or roast battle or whatever, you would think that would consist of it like being sold out, like kind of right away, not you on Twitter trying to get people to buy tickets at the very last moment, which Peter Mon and I both were able to get to the checkout page with 10 tickets each, 20 total. So it's like, how many tickets did he sell within the night before? Like that doesn't make sense. Like it's really not adding up here, buddy. Now it could just be, leaning into the delusion. I don't know. I really don't know. But it's also like, babe, you live streamed this. We saw it. We saw that you bombed. You bombing isn't a successful comedy show or a successful roast battle. Almost everyone bombing that's not successful. It's not funny. If you're not good at the thing, you can't say that the event that you hosted regarding that thing or you doing that thing was successful, because it wasn't. That's just my opinion though. Hey, if he feels like a success, good for him. It seems like the overall consensus across the interwebs is that these roast battles are absolutely insufferable. And I agree. I am one of those people. Again, like I said, they seem poorly organized. They're always looking for mics. There's random issues with the lighting or the sound or the projector, like all types of production issues. Or they can't find someone or someone's not there because they're smoking weed in the back alley. Like, okay. Honestly, it seems like it would be so musty in there because of how many people they cram into that small ass room. Now for the third and most recent roast battle, this past Friday, Dennis was on his Twitter account promoting that the comedian Chris D'Elia was going to be at this roast battle and that he was going to battle against him. And then he even went further and said that on his podcast episode as well. There was no hint of trolling when he said that on his podcast episode. So you're promoting that someone who is not going to be there is going to be there in order to sell your ticket. That's deceptive marketing. That's scamming. So in regards to that, yeah, I do 100% believe that he's scamming his followers or his audience or his customers. You can't promote that someone's going to be there when they're absolutely not going to be there. And you can say all day long and night long and week long, baby, that, oh, he was trolling. People should know that like that's a joke. No, there was no disclaimer on there. There was no this is a joke on there. The general consumer doesn't know that that's a joke. So you can't claim, oh, they just don't get the joke when it's not even clear that a joke is being made, which goes for 90% of his content because it's not funny. It's already been pointed out many times, but there are multiple safety violations in this comedy store. There's only one exit available to the public, and that's the front door. There's so many people crammed in this small ass space. I'm positive there's not proper ventilation. And it's just so funny to me that he's like, yeah, we built this. Sir, you put up like a partition with a janky door and hung up blackout curtains. And I'm assuming drilled studio lights, like the newer brand ones from Amazon, like drilled those into the ceiling. Sure, you constructed a few things. Did you have the permits to? No. Like, did your landlord approve that? Because you are renting that space, you don't own it. Which also, why would you own it? That would be dumb to own that. Lots of violations, lots of not good things happening. It just shows the unprofessionalism. It just shows like the scammy aspect of it. Why would you go ahead and take people's money and invite people in there and already have 3 shows in there when it's not up to code, when you have multiple violations, when you don't know what the hell you're doing? It really just, everything he does at this point, it just is screaming in my face that he doesn't care about his viewers or about his customers at all. And then also between the first and the second, or maybe it was the second and the third roast battle, he was posting links. He was promoting that he was going to be at the LA Comedy Club or LA Comedy Store in Las Vegas. So he was saying he was in Las Vegas. And this part is just all speculation, but he says that he was there. I don't really believe that he was there because first and foremost, he was selling tickets to that through Eventbrite, which is weird because you would think that if he's like on the set list or on the roster, whatever you want to call it, for a comedy club or for a venue for that night, wouldn't you think that it would be the venue who'd be selling tickets to that and not you selling tickets through Eventbrite? So then a few different YouTubers, including Augie, whatever his name is, called the comedy club, and the comedy club verified that no, we don't have him on our roster. We've never heard of him. Like, he's not scheduled for a set tonight, for a show tonight, nothing. And what do you know? He wasn't. Yet Dennis continues to claim that the show had to be canceled. But it's like, baby, you can't cancel something that never existed or was never scheduled to begin with. Now, there have been a lot of theories about this. A lot of people think that he's on drugs. I don't want to speculate on that. I personally don't think that he is. But a lot of people have said like, oh, I think he's on drugs or whatever. And it's like, nah. I don't think so. I think what happened is that about 2 years ago, he started doing a parody of these drama channels and then it blew up. So then he just kind of stuck with it because why wouldn't you? Especially with how many views per month he was getting. I mean, he was making bank, like he was making so much money. So then after 2 years of doing that, he decided, okay, I need to like pivot. I need to, take myself more seriously. I'm, not 24 as I'm promoting myself as. So then he tried to do the elusive YouTube pivot. But when that pivot didn't work out really well, we saw the real Dennis and that mask began to slip. You can say that he's just being sarcastic, he's very satirical, it's satire, or that we don't get the joke, but lying, misrepresenting the truth, telling people to educate themselves at the barrel end of a shotgun, and accusing other creators of being pedophiles with absolutely no evidence at all. It's just because you don't like them, in my opinion. That isn't a joke. Where's the joke? Where's the joke? Where's the punchline? Where's the sprinkle of comedy in there? Where's the joke? There isn't one. Again, it's not that you don't get the joke, it's that there isn't a joke other than Def Noodles himself. Some people have also speculated that he's doing some type of social experiment to try to set it up to where he can do a documentary style video of, oh, I was canceled. This is what happened. But that wouldn't really make sense because one, no one's canceling him. People are just calling him out for his shitty behavior. And then two, in a documentary style video or a deep dive video of like that caliber, you would have to be able to reveal something that like the audience didn't know or, have some type of insider information. But it's like, we've seen all this happen. We've seen all of this happen. And it's not like people trying to cancel him. It's his own behavior that is not good. you know? So what would he be revealing that we haven't already seen? So I don't think that's the case. Also, others have said that he's trying to now reach an older audience that can grow with him as his channel grows, which should have done that from the beginning, buddy. You shouldn't have dressed up like a 19-year-old. Probably should have just been yourself. And you know what? Maybe that theory is why it seems like he's just absolutely copying Hassan Piker's content. I'm not saying that Hassan Piker, who was a very popular Twitch streamer, he does, you know, more of social commentary and political commentary. I love him. I think he's great. He's a very rational human, which is the exact opposite of what Dennis Vetosa is. Absolutely. But what he does is he'll stream for a long ass time during the day, like normal, like work hours. And then from all of that, his editor, his team, whoever will be able to slice all that up into more bite-sized, more consumable videos, like separated into like what the topic was for each one, and then upload that onto YouTube. Personally, I don't watch Hassan on Twitch. I watch him on YouTube. I watch like the recap videos, and I love those. So it really seems like in my mind, that's what Dennis is trying to do. Again, I'm not saying that Hassan was like the first to do that, but there are other similarities between them that it seemed a little bit forced on Dennis's side. So I don't know. A huge difference between them though is, like I said before, that Hassan is pretty rational and has a great relationship with his subscribers. Even, you know, if you disagree with him, I mean, he might like roast you a little bit or make fun of you a little bit, but that's fine. I mean, it's pretty normal. And I think that's so important that he has that relationship with them, because, you know, you can give an opposing opinion and you know he's not going to absolutely like destroy you or block you. It's okay to have an opposing opinion with him because he is more of a rational human being. That's not the case with Dennis though. Another very popular theory amongst a lot of people who frequent the YouTubes is that he's just drama baiting in order to garner ticket sales, views, and really just attention for his different endeavors. Now, if you're someone like Kanye, that worked because you're so big and you already do have such a huge and loyal fan base. If you're someone like Gabby Hanna or Dennis Vetosa, Def Noodles, that's not going to work for you. And even if that was the idea from the beginning, why would you continue to do that when clearly you cannot sell tickets quickly and clearly you're not getting the views? Your views are abysmal. So if that is what he's doing, that's really unfortunate, because I thought he was smarter than that in terms of like YouTube and business wise, because it's not working at all. Now, Dennis really seems like the type of person who absolutely cannot be wrong and will just double down on anything. Now, being resilient and persevering and not giving up on your dreams is wonderful. You know what's even more wonderful? Self-awareness. I get that you've always wanted to be a comedian. I get it. I completely understand. Go for your dreams. However, when you've gone for your dreams for the past, what seems like 17 years and haven't really gotten anywhere with it, it might be time to just, you know, hang up your hat, hang up your noodle, if you will. I mean, hell, I've always wanted to be really good at impressions and accents, but I'm not. I just, for the life of me, I can't get it down. So I'm not going to just hit the self-destruct button on my current online persona in order to go pursue that. One thing that I actually just thought of earlier today was that Dennis has recently said that he just doesn't care anymore. He doesn't care what anyone thinks. When you're in this industry, you know, social media, YouTube, all that, you definitely do have to have thick skin. And I agree to a point of who cares what these other people say about you? Go for it, do it, whatever. However, it is kind of alarming, like this, I don't want to say instinct because I've seen it for a while, but this switch from I do care to I don't care at all about what anyone, I don't care about what everyone thinks, especially when everyone also includes your own subscribers and your own audience who got you to where you are now. That kind of sucks, especially for your audience. Dennis of the Def Noodles YouTube channel has started to brand himself as the bad boy of YouTube, the bad boy of the internet. Well, sir, you're almost 40. You're not a boy, you're a man. And we all know that those high school bad boys grow up to be sketchy criminals and or sociopaths. So which one are you? Let's get into some final thought. I obviously wish the best for him. Obviously. I wish the best for anyone that I talk about on my channel. For anyone ever in the world. I wish the best for them. I don't wish any harm to them. Please don't go, you know, be rude or roast them or whatever. That's never my intention. These are just my opinions. Please do leave your opinion down below. I'd be very interested to hear what you have to say, what your theories are. I'd love to hear that and create that conversation down below. Keep it respectful, please. Spicy, but respectful. That sign says stay spicy, but my Halloween decor is in front of it because spooky stuff. Now, I think that everything really started to go downhill right when he took off those cat ears. Since then, he's been banned from Twitter multiple times. Many popular YouTubers and very successful and well-respected ones have denounced him and his behavior. Personally, I think that the quality of his content declined pretty rapidly. I mean, now he's looking unshaven and crusty at his desk when he was, you know, more colorful and had a background and the lighting was better and all that. And I do think that once the quality went down, his mask really started to fall. and he got into this I don't give an F attitude, which to an extent, sure, you gotta have a little bit of that to be able to do this job, but you have to be able to know where to apply that attitude and where to actually leave yourself open, be respectful to people, be respectful to your viewers and people who, like I've always said, have gotten you to where you are. After multiple scandals this past summer, I think that he really just started to lean into that like bad boy or like, well, I'm just going to play into the clickbait. It's always awkward if you decide to take that route and then it doesn't actually pay off, which in his case, it hasn't at all. It has not paid out. It has not been worth it for him to do that. No. Not at all. Alrighty, well, as you can tell, I feel like I should just do the outro with my eyes closed. As you can tell by my eyeballs like almost being closed, I am ridiculously tired. I had to completely alter my script for this video today because I had to take out some things and just more shit started happening and it was ridiculous. So all in all, I think that he's a disaster. I think that he's self-imploding and whatever tactics he's using right now, I don't know why he doesn't understand that it's clearly not working and that not all people who are giving you constructive feedback are haters. And I wish that he wouldn't use deceptive marketing tactics. I mean, don't say that someone's going to be there when they're clearly not going to be there. Like that's pretty fucked up. So stop doing that, Dennis. Please just stop doing comedy. Like you can be like a funny person in general. Like I'm pretty funny. I'm not a comedian. I'm not going to get on stage and do that, but you're awful at comedy. Just please give it up. Like that's better than just continuing to embarrass yourself. Please stop. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, and comment. I will see you in my next one. Remember to stay spicy, all that. I have to go to bed. I'm so tired. Oh my God. Okay, goodbye.
Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.